Alrighty guys, I'm at a little small park called Head of the Sequatchie. It is between Crossville and Pikeville, Tennessee. And it is relatively hard to get to. There's no signage, so if you decide to come, make sure you got your GPS. What makes this so fascinating is that this is really the head of the Sequatchie River. On the other side of the mountain is what we call Grassy Cove. Some have referred to Grassy Cove as being one of the world's largest sinkholes. The water literally goes into the ground, comes out of the bottom of this mountain, and goes into the forms the Sequatchie River. Some refer to this as the Cumberland Trail State Park, Justin P. Wilson Park. It's got a meeting house that we're looking at. Cumberland Trail is a fascinating little project. It's been going on for decades. It's going to link trails from basically Chattanooga, Lookout Mountain, all the way up to the Tri-Cities area, over 300 miles long. But it's been a long time being formed and made, but it'll be great once it's made. And basically the crevice or crack in the mountain where the water's coming out from the other side of the mountain, as I said, from Grassy Cove and forming the Sequatchie River. Gonna walk up to what's called Devil's Step Hollow Cave, and then what makes this so fascinating is the petroglyph symbols that are inside the cave. We're not allowed to go into the cave anymore, but that symbol, it's called the Falcon Warrior, made by the Mississippian Indian tribe that were the precursor to many of the tribes you're familiar with, such as the Cherokee. I would recommend googling the cave, and you can see the pictures of the various pictographs that are inside the cave itself. Showed you the symbol of the Falcon Warrior. There's the woodpecker, different symbols. It's very fascinating to read. And the only negative I got to this is how beautiful it is, but how literally unmarked it is. Again, if you're coming from Crossville, you'll turn on what's called Brown Road. Then it's no signage whatsoever. Just follow your GPS to get here. I'm the only one here right now, so come on out and check it out. This is the last Friday in June. It's supposed to start to get really hot, so it's only about a mile and a half for the whole loop, so should be able to do it no problem, no matter what the temperature. Basically walking through the edge of a field back to the cave where the petroglyphs are located. Also from here you can access the Cumberland Trail. Goes up the ridge, Black Mountain, then over the hill down to Ozone. Working on a section then across the interstate, Crab Orchard up the mountain, back around towards Catoosa, towards Wartburg, and on up into the La Follette area. So it's just been a long project. A lot of neat little trails, especially down around Chattanooga area. The Saudi Daisy area has got some neat little sections, but hopefully it'll be done. Once it's completed, I think the word is it becomes part of the Great Eastern Trail, which basically goes from Chattanooga up to New York, will parallel the Appalachian Trail. So not sure when all that'll be done, but give hikers another, long distance hikers another option. I'm sure you can walk these fields back to the parking lot and cut a lot of time out there, kind of taking you on a little winding tour around the edge of the woods. Valley was a sacred place to ancient native Indians, a portal to the underworld. Deep inside the cave are 26 ancient pictographs and petroglyphs showing religious symbols. These include bird, humans, heads without bodies, supernatural dog effigies, etc. Decorated around AD 1300 during the Mississippian period. I mentioned that earlier. I know we're almost there because I can feel the cold air. If you did spelunking in your day, you know that you get towards the mouth of caves and you feel the cool air coming out. Pool of water, and then I think the mouth would be, yep, right here. Again, go to get on the internet, go to Head of Sequatchie, the cave, and you can see all the petroglyphs that have been photographed. One neat thing I found when I was reading up about this is that in the back of the cave where most of the petrographs are, they made clay mud holders up in the ceiling where they could stick basically a torch upside down and have it stick to the ceiling of the cave while they light up the area where the sacred area was. Little park's located in beautiful little valleys. A lot of folks know the Indians, especially the Cherokee, lived in these fertile valleys. Be a perfect place for Native Americans to hang out here, and mountains all around them, protected a lot from the wind, and ample hunting and lots of good flat for their primitive crops, that type of thing. So again, my only drawback to this whole thing is got some really nice buildings down here, a nice story to tell, but could go a little bit extra and put some signs on the road. To the left, up from the cave, is the entrance to the Cumberland Trail. And then what we're going to do, a little short loop trail. We'll try it. If it's just a walk in the woods, we'll turn around and come back. Up 1 mile that away to left, be on top of the ridge, Cumberland Trail. 15 miles to Stinging Fork. Beautiful, beautiful waterfall. And back down this way, back to the car. One side straight up, the other straight down. Get your heart pumping good. If you want to get your friends all riled up, talk to them about Indian marker trees, and you find these everywhere. Pickett State Park, Big South Fork. Most marker trees have to be, if they're made by Indians, 300-400 years old. On this poor soil on the side of a mountain, it's hard to say how old the tree is unless you cut it and count the rings. But just mention that to them and you'll get a good debate started. Loop trail's nice. It's a little short walk in the woods type thing, straight up one side and down the other. While you're here, you might as well do it. I can imagine someone having a very nice vacation home at one time, maybe 100 years ago. Alrighty, I just got through doing Head of the Sequatchie, just sort of a brief synopsis. On the other side of the mountain is Grassy Cove. Water sinks down from the cove through the mountain, comes out where we're just at, and flows into, makes the Sequatchie River. Then the cave with the petroglyphs. Can't access it, but you can see the pictures on the internet. Just Google that. Then you've got a little loop trail. Talk to the park ranger and just ask why there was no signage, and he said, well, coming in the way I came, that's not the preferred way, and the road they're going to direct people to from the Crossville area, the bridge is out, and there'll be signs eventually. So that answered that question. But nice little park. If you got a couple hours, use your GPS to get here. I came in from Crossville, turned on Brown, and wandered around till I found it. Been wanting to do this. It's nothing spectacular, but the history from the legacy left by the Mississippian Indians and the records they left, very, very rare. You don't find a lot of that still remaining. Some of my spelunking friends find some old remnants of some of the caves, but and it's not blocked, so kids today would want to get in there and deface it and spray paint it up, that type of thing. So not a bad little place. Had a couple hours to burn, and this is well worth the trip, and I hope you've enjoyed it.